In Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk, this is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have a call-in number for you to join us this morning on the program, 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. If you give us a call during the program, you can ask a question, make a comment about the show or the service center experience. We put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Now, here's the thing. I've been looking back. I went way back in the archives. We had a glitch on the website, and we lost all of our archives. And we're like, what happened, right? Because we keep them for a few years before we usually throw them out. So I went and said, what's the oldest Compute This show that I can listen to? The oldest one way back when. And I listened to it, and we had a lot more callers back then. I'm like, why don't we have callers anymore? And I would like to think it's because the audience has learned so much that now you're just like, I know that. You don't have to have me tell you that when the Microsoft scam guy calls you and tells you it's only $400 to renew your antivirus, that it's not Schrock Innovations calling and that it's a scam because we do your antivirus for you. I would assume you just know that now. But if you don't, if that's not the case, I want to reinforce the fact that there is no such thing as a silly question. There is, if you have a question about your computer, your technology, how things work, what's what, why does it do what it does? You are not the only person that has that question. Just like when you were back in school, if you have the question, there's 10 other kids in the room that also have the question. They're just too scared to put their hand up. So what I'm telling you is pick up that phone. It's like a telethon. And call 888-250-2091. Ask your question. Make your comment. And we'll get you in the drawing for the $25. And you'll be helping everyone else listening get through their technology issues as well. Want to welcome everybody who's listening on the stream this morning. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If I could, folks on Facebook, give me a levels check. We have new microphones and stuff, and that kind of threw me for a loop last week, and our levels were a little bit off. So hopefully everything sounds really, really good today. All right, so last week, if you missed the show last week, it was a different type of show. Every single week, guys, the sky is falling. Every week. Literally, we were talking about stuff before the program that was just like, can you believe what this garbage, And you know what? You can turn on the news and get that. You can open up Facebook and get that. You don't need to tune in to Compute This to hear that, right? So last week, we made a super effort to have a completely 100% positive show. Everything was a good news angle, right? And it was really well received. It was actually a really fun show to do. So if you missed it, go ahead and check it out in the archives. That bug is fixed now. The archives are up. But last week on the program, we told you about the new fitness device coming out from Amazon. A little creepy, a little scary, a little data collecty, but lots of really cool features like this is what your body is going to look like after you do what we tell you to do for this many days. And I'm telling you, when the peanut butter cups, those delicious peanut butter pumpkin things are staring at you, those Reese's ones, you know what I'm talking about. 98 cents in the checkout line. Oh, yeah. And they're staring at you. And you're not debating whether you should have one, but whether you should have 1, 2, or 3. Or if you buy, why don't you have the 6-pack? Because I'm going to eat all 6 in one sitting, and it's a lot cheaper to buy them in a 6-pack. When you're going through that and you have the little thing, the little body image thing saying, if you follow the diet and the exercise plan, your body will look like this in this many days. It could be really encouraging. I'm just saying. I was kind of excited to see that. So we talked about that. We also told you about a brand new tablet that does more by doing less. Yeah, it's weird like that. So in other words, there's no notifications, no apps, no videos, no Netflix. It is a tablet for writing and a tablet for working with documents. So it's literally the ultimate work tablet. And what do? I'm a workaholic. I'm thinking, this tablet is amazing, right? So I pre-ordered a couple, and they're going to be in November. It takes a long time to make them, but it's called the Remarkable 2 tablet. We told you all about that. Also, there was a story about Tesla that absolutely shut down a ransomware attacker guy who was trying to bribe one of the Tesla employees to get him into the network so he could infect Tesla with ransomware. Not only did they shut it down, but the FBI was able to arrest the guy in Los Angeles. He is going bye-bye for a very long time. Good news story there. And also, if you're following the epic battle we told you about how Facebook got smacked the same way, they wanted to do some, basically when you become really big on Facebook, bigger than us, big. I'm talking like, if you were like Limbaugh big and you were on Facebook, you can monetize your stream. You can have ads appear and everything else. And then the content creator gets all of the money from that, right? Well, if the people watching are buying products and doing things on the stream through your Apple iPhone, Apple's getting a 30% cut. Facebook didn't like that. Apple said tough, and that is once again the Apple tax. And it's not just Apple, it's Google too. Same amount, same thing. But basically just, at least with Google, you have a choice. You can use a different Play Store. With Apple, you have to use the App Store. So it was a really interesting show last week. I encourage you to go back and check it out. Coming up on the show today, we have the final days of the Maintenance Checkup sale. This is a big deal. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this morning because these sales only happen twice a year. They are usually very well received. The world is a little nuts right now with the whole Rona thing going on in Pandemicville. And so sometimes the message doesn't get through. Sometimes people don't understand what it is. We've had people asking us to do virtual maintenance checkups, just a few in some cases. I don't want to say anything, guys, but we've had contactless pickup and drop-off options for over 2 months now, 3 months now, and we haven't had a single customer take us up on it. Not one. We've had 2 people ask, can I get a virtual maintenance checkup? And it directly tied to the pandemic, which we can do almost everything virtually, but there are some hardware tests that we have to lay hands on your computer to do. Those have to be done in person. So the vast majority of our customers I suppose it's a biased sample, right? I mean, the vast majority of people who have come into the service center had no problem coming into the service center. No kidding, Thor. Rocket scientist Thor Schrock here. Elon's coming on next. It's if you are somebody who is concerned about coronavirus and it has prevented you from taking advantage of the maintenance checkup, I wanted to let you know we do have contactless pickup and drop-off options. There is, even though the sale ends at 5 o'clock today, the maintenance checkup sale is done at 5 p.m. We do have on our website a link. I've actually used a new feature on the Facebook stream called the feature link. You can click on the feature link up at the top there, and it will take you directly to the maintenance checkup page on the Schrock Innovations website where you can purchase a prepaid maintenance checkup certificate. So you have 2 choices. If you're hearing this for the first time today, you can jump in your car. We're open Saturday from 10 until 8, Sunday from noon to 5. You can jump in your car. You can rush out to the service center and drop off your computer before 5 o'clock today to get in on the maintenance checkup special. Happy day. You may have something in life, going on. You may be out of town for the holiday. There could be a lot of things going on. So instead of doing all the craziness, you could just go to SchrockInnovations.com. Go to Shop and Specials, or just click the link on the feature link here on the Facebook post, and purchase a prepaid maintenance checkup certificate while it's still 45% off. The certificate is good for 6 months. Okay? So there are those among us who believe that things are going to calm down after the election, and I've seen stories saying the opposite, that things are going to get really nuts after the election, depending on the results. So who knows what the world will look like 6 months from now. But if it's something where you just don't have the time to get out and do it right now, you can pick up one of these maintenance checkup certificates and take advantage of the sale. The reason I am spending so much time on this, guys, I'm just going to be real blunt with this. We don't make any money selling maintenance checkups at $50 a piece. We don't really make any money selling maintenance checkups at $90 a piece. So why do we do it? Why do we put them on special? Number one, the entire purpose of the maintenance checkup is to make sure that everything is working well with your computer now and will continue to do so for the next 6 months. That's the whole point, right? So our job, our task, what we do is we work to provide award-winning service. That's why a little bit later in the program, I'm going to ask you to vote for us in the Best of Sarpy, as well as the Best of Lincoln Awards, the Sarpy County People's Choice Award and the Best of Lincoln Awards. We work really hard to try to take care of your computer and your technology, because we believe if we take care of you when you don't necessarily have a huge issue going on and we treat you right, when you do have a huge issue going on, you're going to turn to us. and we'll be the trusted partner. We'll be in the right place at the right time. And at that point, we can feed our people and pay paychecks and fix the lights and do everything else, whatever we got to do. But right now, it's about maintaining your technology. So that's why we do it. But here's why you should do it. Right now, downtime is the enemy. I can't tell you. I mean, I posted pictures on Facebook of the swollen batteries that would have caused your laptop to. We literally, on the bench yesterday, had a laptop start smoking because it had a swollen battery in it. In the Papillion Service Center, we had a laptop actually start smoking. What do you do with that, right? I mean, it was on our bench, and we're like, well, that's bad. And then I'm asking the tech what part was smoking, and he was like, I was on the other side of the room, and I just saw a thin wisp of black smoke coming out. It was like, Satan himself came down and touched the laptop and left his little sulfur stain behind. So, I ran over and I, pulled the power plug out, and they had already had the laptop open to do the testing. And so I turned it over. He says, I turned it over and I disconnected the battery too, just to be safe. He goes, and the smoke had stopped by the time I got there. I don't know what fried, but something fried. And so we're working on figuring out what exactly happened there. So it happened on our bench. Why does that have to happen to us? Because now we have to explain how a customer brought in a computer that wasn't on fire. And then suddenly it caught on fire, just, on our bench randomly, right? So those are always fun conversations to have. But the purpose of what I'm saying is I've posted pictures of the clogged up fans. I've posted pictures of the bulging capacitors. We've had customers call in with the testimonials about how much faster the computer is after we've moved over to a solid state hard drive or something like that. I'm just saying, guys, if you want to avoid downtime, if you're using your computer now for work from home or education, or maybe, right now your computer is your connection to everything. If you are somebody who is not going out or trying to limit the amount you go out. I know Emily was telling me before the show she just went out to dinner for the first time ever the other day. Or not ever, but it feels like it, right? The first time in a long, long time. And she was like, wow, it was crazy to go out and look at who was wearing masks and who wasn't and who was socially distanced and who wasn't. And I thought, everybody didn't seem to care and it was weird and I was uncomfortable. And if that's you, if that's the situation you were in, there's a few things I want to tell you. Number one, if you put off the maintenance on your computer, you can get away with it for a little while, just like putting off maintenance on anything. When my car goes off and tells me oil change required, I don't snap my head up and look for the closest Jiffy Lube. Now I go to Grease Monkey, and there's only one of those in Omaha, so I have to drive a little bit to get there, right? But I know Nate, and I know Nate's business, and Nate is a small business owner, and he does a great job. He's one of those salt of the earth guys. He's got a beautiful family. He's one of our customers as well. I'm going to patronize his business, even if I have to drive my car a few more miles over what my truck tells me I should do. Because they built a safety margin in there. They did. But anyway, you can get away with that for a while. Now, if I had my truck on the East Coast and I'm like, well, I'm just going to drive back to Nebraska to get my oil changed because I love Nate. Yeah, that's, I do love Nate still, but that's a long way to drive without an oil change when you need one. And so you can put off your maintenance for a little while and there won't be consequences. But when a little while becomes a long while, becomes I don't remember the last time I had a maintenance checkup on my computer, or I think it's been a couple years. At that point, you're setting yourself up for problems. So definitely, if you can get into the service center this weekend, we are closed for the holiday on Monday. We're going to be closed on Labor Day. We're going to be shut down, but we're going to be back on Tuesday. So I apologize to everyone in Lincoln and Kansas City if you're hearing this show and you're like, that was last week. Sorry about that, but I have to make some time references. I try to stay away from them. But anyway, if you want to bring it in this weekend, you can definitely do so, and we can definitely look at it. But if you can't go Monday without your computer because we're closed, just go grab a certificate. You can go to schrockinnovations.com, click on Shop in the top left corner, and click on Specials, and you can go through the online process to purchase a certificate. If you would prefer instead by the way, there's a link on Facebook. It's this new thing that we're using on Facebook called the feature link. And when there's a feature link for a show or a broadcast, that can be a link that stays present all the time. You can just click the feature link and it will take you directly to the maintenance page. Now, on the other hand, if it's something where you're just like, I can't bring it in today, Thor. I don't like to buy things on the internet. I'm not so sure about that. Just give us a call. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help. give us a call, and we'll get you taken care of over the phone and get you set up with that maintenance checkup certificate. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. Coming up on the show here, we also have Firefox. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a story about Firefox becoming an irrelevant browser, how its market share is shrinking, and they're fighting as hard as they can to stay relevant. But between Google Chrome and now, Edge, which is Chrome, fighting them, I mean, literally their ecosystem is dying. Competition is dying. So they put in a new security feature to try to get themselves the traction they need. We're going to tell you what that is. If you're a Firefox user, you're going to love it. Attackers found a new way to sneak infected Excel documents into your computer. So if you're working from home, this is a story you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. We're going to tell you how to keep your computer safe from this new attack. Also, Apple and Google. This story is probably the one that everyone's going to wait for through the show. Apple and Google are taking their contact tracing game to the next level. You might recall, I'm not going to call it a Thorstradamus moment, but we did say this is kind of the first step, right? We're going to create contact tracing on your phones. You're going to opt into it, and then your state health department will have to create an app to alert everybody and do everything. Guess what? Only 6 health departments created apps nationwide. Nationwide. So Apple and Google are like, wow, this just isn't working. We got to do more. And now they are. So we're going to tell you what your phone is going to be collecting also coming up on the program. I want to remind everybody that if you're in the Des Moines area, I want to thank you for if you've stopped into Schrock Innovations to take a free maintenance checkup. The free offer is actually going through the end of September in the Des Moines location. But anybody who comes into Des Moines for anything is put in the drawing to win a free laptop. So make sure you do come in for a free maintenance checkup because you could win a free laptop. We're going to be giving that away in October. Des Moines has free maintenance sales right now going on, so you can just come on in and get a maintenance checkup. You don't have to spend a dime. If we come to you with a bunch of recommendations, you don't have to take them. You don't have to spend a dime. Free labor. If you're a new customer, which everybody is in Des Moines, and lots of you are new customers who listen to the show every week but have not been into a service center yet, when you do have a problem, your first hour of labor is free. So that's $110 savings there. That's pretty awesome. Also in Des Moines, exclusively in Des Moines, we have up to 30% off new computers as well. All right, we've got to take our first break of the program. When we come back, Paul and Blaine, your calls are coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are 2 products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company. All
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Numbers to join us on the show today, 888-250-2091. That's 888-250-2091. Want to remind everyone, if you are voting in the Sarpy County People's Choice Award or the Best of Lincoln Awards, we would really appreciate your vote for Schrock Innovations for Best Computer Company. It means a lot to us and the staff. Maintenance checkup sale ends today at 5. Make sure you either bring your computer in or you pick up a certificate. Again, I want to emphasize, I had a caller call in. Des Moines continues to be free on maintenance checkups through the end of September as part of the grand opening for the Des Moines Service Center, which is going really well, actually. The other day, it was a little slow to start, and I was a little concerned because, wow, we expected it to be a little busier than this. And then all of a sudden, it was like last week, everybody got the memo. I don't know if there's like a tape delay or what's going on. And boom, someone flipped a switch. And poor Shelly, she's like, Thor, I'm calling Tom in. And I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? Does somebody have the Rona? Like, what happened? And she's like, no, we checked in 6 computers in 10 minutes and it's not stopping. So we're we're calling in help because we want to keep our turnaround times low. And I loved it. It was brilliant. She didn't ask me. She didn't bother me. She just said, hey, we need more manpower or woman power. She was woman power, We need more woman power here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to call in somebody. We're going to get the job done and we're going to make it happen and make our customers happy. I just love our people. Our people are just the amazing stuff. All right. So anyway, one of the things, before we get into the first story on the program and your calls here, thanks for hanging on the line, by the way, Paul, Blaine, John, and Kathy. Your calls are coming up here in just a moment. I want to tell you just really quickly about the extended warranties that Schrock has for our computers. One of the things I've noticed, especially in Des Moines, is a lot of people are coming in to pick up the computers on sale or just buying computers in general. We've sold a lot of hardware over the past several months as people have adapted to their new work-from-home lifestyle. One of the things that I have been seeing repeatedly is that customers are not taking advantage of our warranty system. And the warranty system, when I say taking advantage of the warranty system, I literally mean you are not taking advantage of Schrock Innovations by buying a warranty. The way our warranties work is different. When you buy a computer from Schrock, you get a 1-year warranty with it. We're going to guarantee that everything works with the computer, very similar to what HP or Dell or any of the big boys would do, except we cover everything. So we cover the battery in the laptop. The only thing we don't cover is physical damage. If you throw it out a window or submerge it in a bathtub, that's not covered by the warranty, okay? But on the other hand, everything else is covered. Now, when that warranty ends, I mentioned earlier in the show that a free hour of labor is worth $110. We sell these warranties for $99, guys. If you need a warranty, there is not a single solitary thing that we can fix in your computer for less than $99 because the hour of labor is $110, right? So that's before the part even, and sometimes a second hour is required. So when you purchase a warranty from Schrock for $99 on your new computer and you need it, you're very glad you have it. But let's say you don't need it, because that's the sucker's game, right? Hey, let's get a warranty. Sell these warranties. They'll never use them. And then, of course, when your warranty expires, they call you back. You want to buy another one because you got such great value out of the first one, Johnny? Exactly. We don't want to make that call. So what we do is we call and we say, hey, Johnny, you didn't use your warranty, so we owe you the $100 back because I don't like taking money from people for not giving them anything. And tell you what, you can take a $100 gift card if you'd like and use it for anything in the shop. You can use it toward your antivirus renewals. You can use it toward a maintenance checkup. You can just keep it on account so that if you ever need anything in the future, you've got $100 off. Good to go. Or what we would suggest is you take the $100 and you use it to buy another year of warranty. And that way, your computer is constantly under warranty. You are constantly protected, and someday you will need that warranty. And when that day comes, you will be very glad you have it. What does this do for Schrock? Why do we do this? And the accountants hate it because this isn't how the warranty game is supposed to work. It's supposed to be a profit center, Thor. Do you not understand the concept of a profit center, Thor? You need at least one, okay? Come on. Because your maintenance checkups aren't a profit center. Your warranties aren't a profit center. Come on, man. What this does for Schrock is it builds loyalty among our customers. And even if something bad happens, because once in a while, people are human and make mistakes. If something bad happens, we get you back. We have another bite at the apple to make sure that we can show you that that was an anomaly and that we are the great service company that you expect us to be. So it works out. We save you money. We retain you as a customer. We keep our relationship with you. We invest in our relationship with you. And as a result, you get a better product and we get an amazing customer. I think that's worthwhile. And that's why we do our warranties the way we do. So if you have been one of those people who have purchased a warranty and you had one of the guys say, sir, do you want to buy an extended? No, I don't want that. My guys aren't going to push it on you. They're not going to sit here on the radio and tell you that you're an idiot if you don't buy it. I mean, they wouldn't ever do anything so, not classy as to call you, not intelligent for passing up an opportunity like this. But please take advantage of us. That's what we're here for. All right, 888-250-2091. Paul, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Paul. How about you?
Well, I'm doing great. You're my church every Sunday morning.
Oh wow, that's not a hard standard or anything. You didn't just no. I'm not going to go there. Thank you very much.
You were on like two or 3 hours, but anyway,
you
can
listen to the aftershock. It usually goes almost an hour these days.
Well, I got a 32 gig iPad 6th generation Wi-Fi. And it is locked up. And we've done some Google searches and tried all that crap. And we've went to a local retailer, and they says, no, we're not going to touch it to unlock it. And I just was curious if that's something you could do or if there's a simpler situation. Well,
sure. And we absolutely can take a look at it. One of the things, and I had to explain this to my Des Moines staff because they're a little bit new. We don't really do tablet repair. We don't really do phone repair. But we have all the tools to do phone repair, and we have all the tools to do tablet repair. It's just a lot of times on the cheap. If you bring in, your RCA Black Friday Walmart tablet that you bought for $79, it doesn't make sense to put a screen in that. Like, you wouldn't want to do that. Now, you bring in a Microsoft Surface tablet that was a $1,500 laptop, essentially, that makes a lot of sense. You bring an iPad Pro in, that makes a lot of sense. So when you say your iPad is locked up, what is locked up about it? Is it just frozen on the screen, or what's going on? Does it not turn on?
Well, I don't know what I want to say. Somebody tried typing in the wrong password
gotcha.
Too many times.
So you got to reset it.
And it's locked up.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
We can definitely help you with that. That's, basically you have to go through a whole rigmarole with Apple to prove that you're the person that owns the thing. But once you do that, you can get through it. So definitely bring that into one of our service centers. We're happy to check it in for you. If you're a new customer, just let us know when you come in. We'll give you that free hour of labor. And that actually should be plenty of time to get this thing reset for you. So we'd look forward to seeing you in the service center, Paul. Let us take a crack at it. I think we'll be able to make you happy. 888-250-2091. Got to take our bottom of the hour break. Stay with us through the break, guys, because coming up next, we got Blaine, John, and Kathy hanging on the line here. Also, Firefox adds new security features. We're going to tell you what's going on there coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it.
Welcome to Schrock Innovations. How can I help you today?
I'm having a problem with my computer.
You're at the right place. We fix problems with computers.
That's why I'm here.
What seems to be the problem with your computer?
When I press the power button, it doesn't boot up. How fast can you fix it?
We're the fastest computer fixer in Omaha. We'll fix it fast.
How fast?
Real fast. Do you have it plugged in when you turn it on?
Of course it was plugged in. Do people make that mistake a lot?
You'd be surprised. When you press the power button, what happens?
It roars, then stops and sits.
Ooh, like a lion?
Like a what? Well, I suppose.
Sounds like a bad power supply, sir.
Is that bad?
It's not good, but we can fix it fast.
How fast?
How's that for fast?
Does it work?
Yes, sir. More purring, less roaring now.
Wow, that was fast.
Schrock Innovations is the fastest computer repair in Omaha, sir.
That's great, but all this talking is making me hungry. You guys sell sandwiches?
We do fast computer repair. If you want a fast sandwich, you have to go someplace else. Why would we sell sandwiches?
I don't know. All this fast talking is strangely familiar.
Schrock Innovations. If you want a fast sandwich, don't go there. But if you want your computer fixed and back on your desk fast, give them a call or visit their website at SchrockInnovations.com. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. As schools and businesses struggle to reopen after months of coronavirus quarantine, a new study indicates that working moms have been uniquely affected.
Many schools from coast to coast are starting the year with remote learning. Others are doing a hybrid approach, and that means more parents can't work. According to a study published in August by Sage Journals, more than 3% of women with kids 6 and under left the labor force since the pandemic began, and more than 4% of women with children ages 6 to 12 went home. The numbers were lower for men.
Fox's Rob Dawson. It's been a scorcher of a summer in the West. Expect more of the same in Denver today, but that's all about to change.
101 today will be below freezing on Wednesday and a chance for rain and snow in between. It doesn't really happen until late Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday is the peak of our rain and snow chances for the week.
Fox 31 meteorologist Matt Makins. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Decreasing clouds today with hot and windy conditions on tap. Those winds could gust up to 35 miles per hour as high temperatures try to make a run at 100 degrees. We will drop down to the lower 60s tonight, highs on Labor Day in the mid to upper 70s. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell.
Welcome back into Compute This, folks. On the monitor, TV monitor here in the shop or in the studio, it just pops up on the screen. You know, buy these Amazon cup holder things and get 10 free disposable face masks. And I'm like, is that where we're at now? The added value is the face mask, like the disposable face mask. Oh my goodness! All right, welcome back to Compute This. I hope you all got your potty breaks in, got your snacks, and you're all ready to go for another half hour because we're behind schedule because Thor's a long-winded windbaggerson, and. We got a lot to cover. So first off, just in a moment here, we're going to talk about Firefox's new security feature. Real quick, I want to point out to everybody, thank you for those of you who are on Facebook right now watching the program. We do stream the show live every week at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. You can be a part of the program live on Facebook no matter where you're at in the country, whether you're driving, wherever else you're going. But the cool thing is it also archives the show for us. So if you missed the show or you're going into services and you can't catch the whole thing, you can pick up right where you left off after services are done, just in case Thor is not your Jesus, because I'm not, not even close. But basically, I want to thank everybody who's watching right now, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. I also posted that feature link there to the Maintenance Checkup sale, so you can click on that and get those certificates. Off air, I had somebody ask, if I buy a certificate, how many computers does that cover? One certificate covers one computer. So if you have, if you've added computers to your household recently and you want to get them all maintenanced, and even if you just bought it, 6 months from now, it'll be time for maintenance. You can have a certificate ready to rock and roll. This is the last maintenance sale of 2020, so it's a good time to pick one up. Just make sure you get the right number for you and your household there as well. 888-250-2091. Welcome to the program, Blaine. How can I help you today on Compute This?
My newest computer has Radeon graphics in it, and the last Microsoft update they did screwed it up, and it's been acting real strange. I've been in communications with their support people by email, and they're having me go through all these steps, and the first one didn't work. The second one, I got to where they tell you to go into safe mode. With the Windows 10, when you go into safe mode, you lose your Wi-Fi.
You lose everything, yeah. It's safe mode. It's a diagnostic mode.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and I went through hell getting the safe mode back off.
Mm-hmm.
So I've quit doing anything with it right now. It seems to be working okay. Every time Windows updates, am I going to have to go through this again?
This is a great question, Blaine. One of the things I would encourage you, when is the last time you had preventative maintenance done on the computer?
About 6 months ago.
Okay, good. Because this kind of stuff isn't supposed to happen. Like your Radeon graphics, that's not a Windows update. That was a driver that was pushed out by Radeon that was delivered to your computer, by NVIDIA, I should say, that was pushed out to your computer through Windows Update. So Microsoft was the delivery channel for the update to your graphics card. And you really should keep that software up to date for optimal graphics performance. But here's the thing. It screwed up your computer, right? And so there's this long history of Windows updates jacking people's computers. And not so much the little updates, the regular smaller ones, the patches seem to be fine, but it's these giant gargantuan feature updates or feature upgrades, as we call them in the service center. What they're actually doing with those is they're taking you from one version of Windows 10 to a whole different version of Windows 10. So for those of us who are old enough to remember, this is like going from, Windows XP to Windows 7. That's what they're doing, but they're doing it every 6 months, and it's free, and they require you to do it. And if you become if you say, I ain't going to do it, and you put it off and you delay it and you click snooze every time it comes up, once you get 2 updates behind, so once you've gone a year without a feature update, then you don't get security patches anymore. And that's a real big deal. So you have to stay up on the security patches. So, Blaine, a couple things here. First of all, there is another one coming out in October. So you're going to hear us talking about that probably starting next week to get everybody ready for the next safe upgrade and explain what it is and how it works. So we're going to hear a lot about that next week, Blaine. But to answer your question, is it going to blow up your computer every time? Of course, we would hope not. But that's one of the reasons we offer Safe Upgrade, is because what we've found is the people who tend to have problems with the Windows updates are people who have problems almost every time there's an update. About 20% of people will have a problem with a Windows update that causes a problem with their computer when it comes down, especially the feature updates. So what we do with Safe Upgrade is we try to prevent that from happening by taking responsibility for the upgrade ourselves and having our own software check a whole bunch of things that Microsoft software doesn't check before we install that update on your computer, because it could have failed for a host of reasons. Now, if the last time you had maintenance was 6 months ago, you are ripe for another set of maintenance. We want to make sure that your power supply is putting out the right wattage. We want to make sure that your hard drive is not going bad. Hopefully you have Drive Advisor installed from Schrock Innovations to monitor that. We want to make sure that your memory is doing well. We want to make sure that you do have all the updates, and maybe that wasn't the most recent version. Maybe that was 2 versions ago's version, and you're just catching up. We want to make sure that that's all done right. So that's what we do during a maintenance checkup. It's not just, when you have a furnace checkup, they come and they shine a flashlight in there, maybe they change a filter, and they say, oh, yeah, they're good to go, sign the check. We're trying to find an HVAC company in Des Moines to basically do twice annual maintenance on our stuff there. Well, like $700 for filters and maintenance. And I'm just like, what planet are you on? My other shops, it's like $300 a year. You want $700 a year? But at a Schrock maintenance checkup, we do a lot of fixes as part of the maintenance checkup. So we're going to correct a lot of registry errors and clean up a lot of stuff, and we're going to find those problems when they exist. And if they don't exist, you'll then have the peace of mind of knowing that the piece of hardware that you have is a solid piece of hardware. So thank you for the call, Blaine. I appreciate you joining us on the program. That's a great question. We're going to talk a lot about that next week and as far as Safe Upgrade goes and how you can make sure those updates are installed smoothly in the computer. But yeah, the possibility is always there that it's going to jack something up. All right, so Firefox, guys, I told you about this story. Firefox adding a new security feature. So we talked a couple weeks ago about Firefox becoming an irrelevant browser. I love Firefox. I use Firefox. That's my thing. So I'm not down on Firefox. I'm not trying to badmouth them. But they're losing market share. And there comes a point when I think they only have like 6% of the market in browsers right now. There comes a point, and they've been declining every quarter, a point where you have to say to yourself, it's just not worth it anymore, right? They've had a lot of cuts and layoffs and things. So there's a lot of people looking at Firefox saying maybe this is, where Firefox's story ends, or maybe this is where it becomes some open source project that everybody forgets about, kind of like the Opera browser, right? Well, Firefox added a new security feature, and it's going to be released in October, that'll make it harder for malicious web pages to initiate what are called drive-by downloads. So you're familiar with a drive-by, right? Bad things happen in a drive-by. A drive-by download is when bad thing happens when you go to a web page and it automatically downloads a file to your computer. Now, of course, it can't run the file automatically, but it does automatically download it to your computer, which sets the stage for some other bad thing to happen to cause the file to run and infect your computer. These attacks have been around for 20 years. Web technology has changed now to the point where they're less common than they used to be. But still, if I'm a bad guy on a malicious website, I can use a less common attack vector to get into your computer. And so these drive-by downloads, Chrome and Firefox, about a month or two ago, or Chrome did, they blocked all these drive-by downloads so that they don't happen on your Chrome browser at all anymore. So Firefox is playing a bit of catch-up here to get equal to Chrome again. But it's nice to see that there was a big doubt whether Firefox's security team would be on the ball because they've had so many job cuts. There's been such a reduction in resources. Are they going to be able to do the job? And the answer that they're saying here with this update is yes, we're up to the task. So we'll have to sit back and watch and see what the future holds for the Firefox browser. But hopefully, all good things, hopefully, with any luck. All right, 888-250-2091. Welcome to the program, John. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Well, I've got a Toshiba laptop that I got a Samsung Evo solid-state drive put into.
Nice.
And ever since I got that in, I mean, the performance increase is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 11-year-old laptop, and it performs like it's brand new.
Yep, that's the experience.
Way better than it ever did. But I'm getting some blue screen error codes, and there's 4 different ones: IRQL, not less or equal, system service exception, kernel mode heap corruption, and kernel security check failure.
Okay, so kernels are the Windows the heart of the Windows operating system. So the fact you got a thermal error and kernel errors tells me there might be some overheating going on that's causing the processor to do something. It sounds like there's a thermal issue there. The IRQL, not less or equal, is related to the hard drive, but you can get that as the result of improper shutdowns because of a thermal issue. So I think it all goes back to a thermal issue. You mentioned that the laptop was 11 years old. One of the things that happens over time is everything inside your laptop, heat is removed by heat pipes that have fans on the end of them, like a little radiator. And we have to move the heat from the microchip into that metal heat pipe. And so you do that with thermal paste. And so there's like a liquid paste that goes on the top of the chip, and then the fan bolts down on top of that. And that liquid acts as a conductor to move the heat off of the processors, off the chips, and into the metal so the fans can suck it and blow it away. Over time, that paste becomes a solid. And when that happens, it dries out. Solids, as we all know, solids do not conduct heat as well as liquids do. So therefore, we might need to just repaste your stuff, your gear, to get it to cool down again. Just scrape off the old paste, apply some new fresh, silver thermal paste on there, put it back on, and you're good to go. That's something we can definitely do in the service center for you. John, I think that would be a good call to do, because it sounds like the laptop was working great before that. It sounds like everything comes back to a thermal issue. That's what I would suggest. But definitely, if you want to bring it in for a maintenance check, it wouldn't be a bad idea before we go through the expense, the hour of labor of doing that we check out the whole laptop and make sure there's not something else going on as well, just to make sure everything is healthy. All right, 888. Thank you for the call, John. We got you in the drawing as well. 888-250-2091. We're going to take a break. When we come back, attackers have found a new way to sneak infected files into your computer through Excel documents. We're going to tell you about how to keep your computer safe there. Also, coming up next, Apple and Google and their COVID contact tracing. They're taking their game to the next level. What you need to know before you install the next version of iOS on your phone. Coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of Compute This. We got like 9-10 minutes here and a lot to cover. So let's get to it. 888-250-2091. Show program note, guys. Stay tuned after the show today for the Aftershock. The Aftershock is a little show that we do after this show, exclusively on Facebook. So you have to go to facebook.com/Schrock Innovations to get it. But what we do there is we fit in all the stuff that we didn't have time for during the show today, all the funny little stories and things. And I've got some crazy ones for you this week. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a meeting that I had this week with a guy that is an investment guy. And he wanted to find out if Schrock was a good fit for his investment firm. And I thought, well, this is worth a meeting, right? So I'm going to tell you about that meeting. That was pretty exciting stuff. Also, we had one competitor so far this year that we know that did not survive COVID in Lincoln. We have one competitor that we know of in Bellevue that is currently up for sale. And we have now another competitor who is seeking acquisition, basically wanting Schrock to invest or buy into their computer repair company in Lincoln as well. So it's the market is weird right now, guys. So I'm going to tell you all about the weirdness. I'm not going to give names because that's not cool, but I'm going to give you just the lowdown, the skinny on what's going on behind the scenes, because you hear all this stuff on the surface and you see everything that's happening, but then everyone tells you, oh, it'll be great, come on in, and then all of a sudden it's not great for some reason. And we're going to tell you why that happens. And if you there's the one place that I will talk about during the Aftershock was Extreme PCs in Lincoln. They are out of business. They are gone. We have customers of theirs who have come into our Lincoln Service Center because our office is only like 3 blocks. Our service center is 3 blocks or so from their office, or where there were anyway. And he had promised them warranties for life on their computer. And so this is the difference between a warranty promise that sounds too good to be true and a warranty promise that is too good to be true. Earlier I talked about Schrock's warranties, and it sounds like that's a really good deal, right? Almost too good of a deal. We're not telling you that we're going to warranty your computer for the rest of your life if you just buy it from us, because those promises you can't keep. You just can't. You end up going out of business, and that's what's happened. And so we are actually honoring the warranties of Extreme PC customers, not for life, because we can't, but we're going to give them basically a 1-year warranty, just like we would any of our customers, to have them experience what it's like to to do business at Schrock. A lot of these people are gamers. We don't really have a gaming line at Schrock right now. We built gaming computers, before. We do it all the time, but we don't have a line of gaming computers. Maybe we should do something like that. I don't know. Well, you would buy a gaming computer? Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Customer number 1, we're good to go. 888-250-2091. Attackers have found a new way to push malware through your email. They're using Excel files, which, most of the time you'd think your antivirus is really good about picking this up and not letting these infected Excel files get through. And those that do get through, you know, have you ever got someone emails you an Excel file and you open it up and it's in edit only mode and you have to click like allow editing and everything else. And you're like, why do I have to click all of these buttons? Well, it's because in the past, back in my day, they'd send you an email that had an Excel file in it, and it would literally run a macro that infected your computer. Well, we don't want that now, right? So now we have this safe mode, basically, and you have to click a button to get out of it. So just adding that extra step is adding a layer of protection. These guys found a way since June to sneak an Excel file into your email that gets past that with macro code, that can circumvent Microsoft's protections, that can circumvent most of the junior grade antivirus. It gets past all that stuff too. It does not get past semantic endpoint. It does not get past Sophos. So the big guys, the big dogs in the field, it does not get past them. But it will get past your McAfee. It will get past your Norton LifeLock, which is a 2015 scanning engine, from what I can tell, strapped with new detections. I had a meeting with a security expert a couple weeks ago, and he said that detection-based antivirus is going the way of the dodo. That would be Avast, AVG, you know, Secure IT, anything that relies on a signature. Like this is what the virus looks like. The virus threatscape now changes hourly. So if I'm an attacker, I take my attack and I tweak it by just a bit, and now it's a new attack. And now it doesn't match the signature, so your antivirus doesn't catch it. That's what makes Sophos and Endpoint so powerful, is that they can catch those things. So I'm good. That's what we recommend in the Service Center. If you're not running one of those two products, I would recommend you come on in and let us get you moved over to them. It'll keep your computer safe. And again, the magic word here is downtime. When you get infected, your computer is down. We want to prevent downtime. All right, 888-250-2091. Kathy, thanks for hanging on the line there so long. I appreciate your patience. How can I help you today on Compute This? Kathy, are you with me? No, we lost Kathy? All right. Let's jump up to Greg then. Greg, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today? Are we having a phone issue? All right. We are having a phone issue because the odds of Kathy and Greg both bailing on us, not too hot. So we're going to try to take care of that here real quick. But meanwhile, I told you a little bit about Apple and Google pushing their contact tracing, and we're going to get to that in just a second. The Aftershock today, we're planning on talking about a few different things. I told you a little bit about, we're going to talk a little bit about the investment world and whatever goes into that. There's the new TV commercials, actually, for the Des Moines Service Center are out, so you can take a look at those as well here on Facebook if you scroll down a little bit further. Also, our new workflow management tool. I know this is not exciting for everybody, but this new workflow management tool that we have at Schrock Innovations is really starting to take shape. It's running everything behind the scenes at Schrock right now, and it's a handoff from a 21-year-old system to a new system. It was a little rocky the first week, but it's going to allow us to do some really cool things, so we're going to tease some of those coming up as well. All right, so Apple and Google are pushing their contact tracing. For those of you who missed the previous programs about this, built into your phones now, if you have the most recent version of Android or iOS, contact tracing is built into your phone. It is turned off by default in settings. If you go and turn it on, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it monitors Bluetooth connections, but it doesn't do anything. Then you have to go install an app from your health department, and the app from the health department manages all of the data. This is a way for Apple and Google to say, we don't have your data, we don't want your data, we're trying to do a good thing for humanity here and, help with contact tracing of COVID cases. So there you go. But the problem is the health department's government can't move as fast as free enterprise. So when you have, Google and Android, two competitors in the marketplace suddenly deciding to work together, and then they build something in both of their OSs that will talk to each other, and they get it done inside of a month, and then they hand it out to governments and say, all you have to do is put out an app. And the governments are like, let's do an RFP and collect their bids, and the bidding process takes a month, and then once it's bid, we're going to select from the bidders, and we're going to choose whoever has the best, crony connections or whatever, and then it's going to take another 6 months to build the app, and then once the app is built, we'll have to get it out there. So yeah, we should have it by next year. And Apple and Google are like, what the heck, guys? We did this for a reason. So now they're like, fine. Only 6 health departments nationwide actually put out an app. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do it for you. That's right. We're going to take the contact tracing features we have in all of our phones now, and we're not going to default them to on, but when you turn them on, starting next month, when you turn them on, then Apple and Google will collect contact tracing information and save it on your device, of course, completely anonymized. That's the claim. Every handset will have a Bluetooth ID, and there's no way we could ever connect that ID back to you. No. Of course there's a way they could do that if they wanted to, and maybe they do want to. I don't know. But the idea here is once this is all in place, they're using a nonprofit agency to kind of provide the framework here. But once it's in place, it will allow health departments to basically access a database of infected people in their state, rather than having to build an app and do everything. The health department won't get as much information as they would have gotten if it was their own app. But the idea here is that now if you're infected with COVID, you're the 21st century leper, and you will be reported to everybody you walk past, but they won't know it's you. They'll just know that they walked past a leper. And then you still control, in theory, in these things, whether or not a notification gets sent out to anybody that you ever tested positive. The phone app doesn't know you tested positive. You have to tell it you did. And then from that, it'll tell you whether or not you were exposed to anybody else who has been reported positive recently. So anyway, I know there's going to be a lot of questions about that, and there's a lot of mistrust and a lot of fear there. If that's the case, save it for the aftershock. We can dive into it there. Do we have phones back, Emily? We don't know? Let's try Greg one more time. Greg on line 1, welcome to Compute This. How can I help you today? Greg, I can hear your air.
Hello.
Hello, Greg.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you turn him down a little bit? Thank you. Yeah, go, Greg. You're good to go.
I hear you always talk about backing up your stuff.
Yes.
And I have the equipment, the deal that I think I can do it on, but I don't know how to do it. If I call the service center, can they tell me how to do it so it does it automatically?
Absolutely. In fact, you can call or you can hit our website at SchrockInnovations.com and check out the do-it-yourself section where we have the 10 steps right there for you how to set it up.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate the call. We got you in the drawing as well. The winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate is Kathy. Congratulations. Stay tuned for the After Schrock, guys, coming up here on Facebook in about 5 minutes or so. If you have liked or followed Schrock Innovations, you'll get an alert when we go live. And we'll see you guys again next weekend for another exciting edition of Compute This.
Fueled by Hy-Vee, home of hot deals and hundreds of price declines. This is News Radio 11.